Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and welcome to the off-season after season 1 here in the New Orleans Kings franchise. So we will get into a lot in this episode. Honestly, this took me so long to do to get the roster just how you like it, and this was a full-on rebuild. So let's just start out with the World Series. The Dodgers took care of business. They actually beat the Texas Rangers in the World Series. That is actually really surprising that they made it, but the Dodgers did win it. Now, looking at our retirees, the only guy that really matters is Rajay Davis. He played he didn't platoon, but he did get a lot of at-bats, about 200 at-bats, and he wasn't even platooning. So he will be missed because of his speed. I will definitely need to get some speed off of the bench. Now, we do get to officially change the name over to the Kings. We also moved the color scheme a little bit. Instead of the white uniforms, we moved to a gray this year. One thing I love about MLB the Show is that you can change this every single season. So if you don't like the jersey one year, you can change it the next. So we will have the purple aways as well. And let's hop into the offseason, as now we have to hire a new manager. Now, Joe Madden was the hot commodity. It looks like he could be going to the Sox, who knows? But a lot of teams are actually looking for a lot of different coaches. And one guy I wanted to make an offer to was Lucas Viola. Now, he is really good with contact and play vision. I'm hoping that will boost up our batting averages. I really need help in every aspect of the roster. So I really am looking forward to him. Now, let's talk about our draftees. So I did say I was going to rename these guys, and I did not change their ratings. I just literally changed their measurables, their skin tone, and everything like that. So the first one was Kane King. He is a shortstop, so congratulations to those who made him. Lon Davis turns into Jimmy Pelko, a lefty, and I did not change the handedness for pitchers because I drafted them, and obviously I want them to stay the same. If I draft a lefty, I want a lefty. Chris Quintana, 19-year-old. We have an 18-year-old and 19-year-old that we drafted in the past draft. Both be potential. He turns into Teddy Polatitis. Tell me if I'm saying that name wrong. I don't really know. Teddy Polatitis, I think it is. Polatitis. I think that's the only way I know how to say it. Roderick Benitez, a third baseman who I thought was going to be a good pick when we picked him. Honestly, he's 18 years old, 59 overall, deep potential. That D is actually 69 exactly, so if he does well, that will go up to a C, so I'm hoping that happens. He goes to Benji Halama, who's going to be pretty much in, I'm going to probably put him in AA ball, because if you put him in single A, he might decline since he's D potential. And then Julio Gonzalez is another young B potential pitcher. He goes to Bobby Njoku, so congratulations to the guys who got their name selected. There will be more in free agency as I do scoop up some minor league players. Like I said, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just changing their name and their measurables. So let's look into free agency, and there are quite a few ones, but we are going to be realistic. Just remember that it's realistic who's going to want to play for a new expansion team. Probably some guys that want to either get paid or don't care about winning right away. But some older guys that are really good, like say Corey Kluber or say Mookie Betts, they're probably not going to come to the New Orleans Kings. Now let's just look at the top pitchers, and I'm looking at quite a few good ones. I think I might go after one or two of them. Catchers, we don't really need them. First baseman, CJ Cron is the top first baseman. Second baseman, DJ LeMahieu is there. Justin Turner at third. Marcus Semien is interesting at short. Marcelo Zuna, Jock Peterson, and Ryan Braun. That's a pretty good left field class right there. And then right field headlined by Mookie Betts with Jay Bruce and Josh Reddick. So let's just evaluate our budget a little bit. So we have some money to spend. So we're not going to be super frugal, but we're not going to just overdo it because we still need to leave some money to renew contracts as well. So this does not include renewed contracts. Scooter Gennett right now is signed through the next two seasons after this one. Yasiel Puig, Joe Smith, Pat Neshek, they're on the last year of their contract. So I hope they will honor that. We won't have to get rid of them. So the first free agent I want to go after here is I want to shore up that starting pitching. And we have holes all over, but I'm looking at Alex Wood. Now, he has been a really solid pitcher throughout his entire career. He's 30 years old, a lefty, which we don't have in the rotation. That's why it's important for us to go after him. We need a lefty. 109 whip last year, 18-7. 170 strikeouts to about 48, 49 walks. That's really good, to be honest. And I am looking forward to trying to pursue him here. So we will offer him a 3-year, $14 million deal. That is not a lot of money. So I am not going to be hesitant there. Now, we do need some bullpen help really badly. Juan Nicasio is going to be a guy that is probably going to be cheaper than the other guys. David Robertson's down here with the Yankees. Sean Doolittle is there. He is going to be way more expensive. But then I focus in on Nate Jones. He's a guy that did not play last season, so we could take a little bit of a chance on him. He actually went up in overall. I don't know how that happened, but he's 34 years old. I'm not going to sign him to a long-term deal. It'll be a 1 or 2 year deal. So we will negotiate with him. He's looking for $3.7 million a year. I think that is pretty good. I'm going to offer that for him. So we will be his only offer right now. We are in the first day of free agency. So then we look at middle infield. Middle infield is a huge need because Scooter Gennett hit about 216 last year, I believe it was. He's 77 overall. He's 30 years old. 30 isn't that old, but it's just that if you're 30 and you're not putting together the production, we might have to replace you with somebody else. So look at that shortstop. The top shortstop on the market is Marcus Semien. He is a career 261 hitter, but he hit 285 last season. So for back-to-back seasons, hit 285. And we do not have an active shortstop on the MLB roster. So I just look at him a little bit closer, and he's really good. I mean, if you look at the ratings, he is declining a little bit in some, which pretty much confuses me because he did really well last year, hitting 285 for back-to-back years, a career high in RBIs. He had 117 strikeouts, a little high, but over 100 RBIs for the first time in his career. Like I said, 91 runs, 29 doubles. I mean, he hit pretty well. His OPS was actually really good as well. So I am going to pursue Marcus Semien. He will be the shortstop, hopefully, if he comes for the next 4 years. 4 years, $46 million. We overpaid just a little bit just to ensure that we do have a big chance at getting him. Now, we look at outfield, and outfield is a big need for us as well because, like I said, we have a lot of holes. Yasiel Puig is coming off that injury. Kyle Tucker is a question mark. Our center fielders are really bad. We need to get something in here as far as depth goes. So George Springer is a top free agent. Starling Marte is there as well. But one guy I do want to kind of get here because I don't have any speed in our lineup at all, it's Billy Hamilton. Now, he is kind of a platoon guy at this point in his career. He's never hit for average. He hit 301 last year in probably a platoon role, and I think that's what I have in mind for him if he does come. He's 30 years old. I don't have any long-term plans with him at all. Even if he does not succeed with being a platoon player, I mean, if anything, he can come off the bench and pinch run, and in situations where I need a run, I can steal a base, get a run home. I mean, it's a valuable position to have, so we will make that offer to him. So the first signings of the offseason come down, and surprisingly, Mookie Betts stays in the NL West, but he goes over to the Rockies. That is surprising to me on a 10-year deal. Now, our division gets stronger. Liam Hendricks goes to the Rangers, so the Rangers just made it to the World Series. They get stronger with that signing. But the Dodgers do sign Marcell Ozuna to replace Mookie Betts, and we get our man Marcus Semien on a 4-year, about $46 million deal that'll pay him $11.5 per year, 88 overall. He is our highest overall guy now on the roster, and you can see his numbers from last year: 27 home runs, 101 RBIs, hitting 285. So we're hopping into kind of the second phase of free agency, and we get a trade offer from a divisional opponent, the Athletics, who we just got Marcus Semien from, and they want Marcus Semien back. That is just questionable. Let's just see who they would want to trade. Mitchell Jordan is a pretty good prospect as far as pitching goes, but he's 25 and only 65 overall. If he was 25, I would want him to be kind of in the low 70s, kind of where we got Jace Vines. And let's just look at the last guy, Sean Murphy. Okay, he's interesting though. A potential 71 overall, 26 years old. Hasn't really had too much MLB experience, but we already have a really good catcher in Corey Lee. So looking into free agency some more, we look at our logs. So we end up signing Nate Jones also and Alex Wood. So we have our first 3 signings that we made offers to. As we continue here, Ken Giles goes over to the Nationals. Starling Marte goes to the Dodgers, so they get 2 new outfielders as the World Series champs reshore their outfield up, as Jock Peterson and Mookie Betts they lost both of them to free agency. And then we end up getting Billy Hamilton on that deal, and I am very excited about that because, like I said, if he's not going to start, whatever, he's going to be kind of a guy off the bench. So one thing we did do is we did extend Clint Frazier. I want to get him while he's cheap and overpay him because he's expecting $743,000 a year. We gave him $3 million. So I want to make sure that is happy with him. I want to make sure that contracts are not a problem with morale, because I've definitely had that problem in past franchises where if you don't pay your guys, after a while, their morale will start to go down because they think they're worth more than what they are. So it's good to overpay your good guys, the guys you know are going to be sticking around long term. And that's what we did with Clint Frazier. So he's going to be locked up in left or right field for the next 5 years. So then I start to look at some guys you guys wanted me to go after, starting with Christian Pash. He is a potential guy, but I don't see myself wanting to develop him because I want a guy that's kind of ready right now, but a guy that is still young. So I circle in on Randy Arozarena, and he is a good outfielder. He has not gotten the chance to really show what he can do at the MLB level. One thing I like about him is that he has high durability at 89. So that is valuable because, man, who wants a guy who's going to get hurt all the time? He has good fielding attributes, good reaction, good speed. So he could be a potential leadoff hitter for us. He can't really steal that well. Maybe that can develop a little bit. His power isn't that high, but it's okay because I'm not expecting him to be that guy as far as power goes. And he has good plate vision. So keep him in mind. I want to go after him. He's one of those guys you guys did suggest, so I want to keep him on the list. So let's just do our due diligence here and see what we can get for Yasiel Puig. He was hurt the whole year last year, and I didn't really get a lot of offers that really surprised me. You know, one offer that did get my attention was Johnny Cueto. He would have a $20 million price tag though, but it would only be for 1 year. That could be something that could be worth it just because I don't have a ace right now. Alex Wood right now would be our ace. So we'll have to visit that maybe later. So let's hop into the second phase of free agency where more free agents start to get weeded out. And one guy that gets added is Jesus Aguilar, the former Milwaukee Brewer. And he played 1 season in Tampa Bay, then 1 season with Miami. And just looking at what he can do well, I mean, he hit for average last year, 302, 904 OPS, 8 home runs. He is a power hitting guy, and I like his hitting zones. We really need a first baseman, especially with power and actually average, because Mike Ford, when we traded for him, he started out well. He ended the year hitting about 209, which is terrible. And then Mark Trumbo is obviously not with us. Other first basemen that we can go after, Ryan Zimmerman's there, but he's a little older. I want to get somebody just a little bit younger. So Jesus Aguilar is not asking for much money at all. And if I can't play him at first base, I mean, that's a good DH in the lineup as well. So we will offer him that contract and move on to outfield once again. Now, Brian Goodwin has become a free agent, and I really, really like him as just another guy that can potentially be a starter for us because he was starting for LA last year. He has really good hitting attributes. He has gone up in potential and overall based on his performance, and he's not a bad fielder as well. He hit 280, and that would probably have netted him with the best average on the team last year, to be honest, along with Clint Frazier, I believe, who led our team in average besides DJ Peters, who came up late. And then another outfielder, they did decide to get rid of Jose Martinez, and he is one of those guys that is kind of a cheat code in this game. I mean, he gets hits after days. And, you know, one other guy I want to look at here is Raimel Tapia, and he is 27 years old. The only thing about it is he is another lefty, and I don't know if I'm going to really have him as a MLB level player right now, but he is 27, B potential. He can get better. Hit 294 and 494 at bats last season, so that is really, really good. I think I can get good value out of him, but right now I don't have plans, but we will offer him a contract just to see what we can get out of him. So the White Sox make a move here in the offseason. They trade for Jose Altuve. Interesting. So now another Astro goes to the Reds. George Springer now goes to the Reds. And you know what's funny is that he just signed with the Cubs in free agency and then he gets traded. And I remember last year I actually had this issue with, I forgot who it was on the Cubs, but kept getting traded like 3 times in one offseason. I don't know what is up with this, but... And then the White Sox make another move. They get Jordan Alvarez and they trade Eloy Jimenez. So right away, they trade Eloy Jimenez. And then they also traded, who they trade to the Tampa Bay Rays? They traded, Yan Moncada. They traded him to the Rays. So I don't know what's up with them, but they just trade away their future and their present. I don't know what they're trying to do over there, but I guess they believe in Altuve. So we decide to go back to the Rays, speaking of the devil, and Randy Arozarena is there. He is an outfielder who I think has a potential to be one of the starters at least, and maybe even a guy that can hit leadoff for us. We've been looking for a good leadoff hitter. Billy Hamilton will have a chance, and I want to add some competition to center field. And just looking at who they would want, they asked for a little too much when I look for the trade finder, and I'm not willing to deal that much. They wanted David Bodie. I can't put him in a trade right now. We just traded for him. But then they also look like they want Garrett Stubbs. They have no catcher depth in their organization, just Mike Zunino, and he is 30 years old. So Garrett Stubbs is 3 years younger and also be potential. So they will accept this trade, and we will have an outfielder, one that will compete for the starting job right away. So now we advance more into the offseason. Brandon Lowe gets traded as we move on to the Rule 5 draft, where we have 0 draft picks in this draft, and we do not get to select there. And let's just keep moving on here as we do move into the winter meetings now, and this is the phase that we were at. And I just want to look at our outfield depth. Billy Hamilton, Tapia, Arozarena, Justin Thompson is there. I cannot wait for him to get up to the show. He has performed well at every single level he's been at. And then DJ Peters, obviously. DJ Peters is actually out of options on his contract, so he's going to be guaranteed to be at the MLB level, which kind of sucks because a lot of these guys that I picked up when I created this team, or even that I traded for, were out of options. So I can't move them down to AA, AAA, or whatever I want. So then we decide to look at the corner outfielders here, Yasiel Puig and Kyle Tucker. And like I said, I was kind of fed up with Kyle Tucker. I think I'm going to trade him because I just do not believe in him, and I would rather develop some of our young outfielders instead of him. So one thing I want to get in the place of Kyle Tucker is a pitcher below the age of 25 and younger with at least B potential and about 80 overall. And I found Pablo Lopez from the Marlins. Look at his numbers, 104 whip, 12-6. He is really good. And one thing that sticks out from him is his walks per 9 and his control are really, really good. So Kyle Tucker is an A potential, so we're going to get another guy, Ryan Stanek. We're going to get 2 B potential guys. We're not going to abuse it, but we know we can get a lot back from a 24-year-old A potential player. And we look at another first baseman, Luis Diaz, but he's B potential. I don't want to abuse the game, because I know how much the CPU values A potential guys. And I know Kyle Tucker has a ton of trade value. I mean, he was a top 5 pick in the draft in 2015. But then I look at a relief pitcher who I can develop, CJ Carter. This seems a little bit more realistic, lesser of a relief pitcher, but he's 23 years old, B potential. So we end up getting 3 Bs back for Kyle Tucker. I think this is great value, a guy that we can develop as far as our minor league systems go as well, especially at relief pitcher, because we don't have any. So I like that trade. Kyle Tucker is no longer a king. So let's just look at our potential starting lineup going into season 2. Billy Hamilton will kind of hit leadoff in spring training. I am evaluating the outfield positions, not left field though. Clint Frazier will hit second for us. He thrived hitting second. I really loved what he did for us. And then Marcus Semien will hit 3 at shortstop. He's going to be there versus right-handers and left-handers. Jesus Aguilar will hit 4. I think he's going to be the full-time first baseman for us. And then Mike Ford will fill in just a little bit. And then Corey Lee, right now he's penciled in as the starter at catcher. He was hurt the whole season last year, so he didn't really have any experience playing baseball most of the year. But I do depend on him to be that everyday catcher because he is our highest rated guy right now, and I think he is ready. I think his prospect ranking went down to number 3 in the MLB pipeline, but right now he's slated as our starter. Then after that, David Bodie hits 6, Scooter hits 7, Melky hits 8, and then Puig will hit in the 9 hole because I want a good hitter that hits in that 9 hole. I think he serves that pretty well. But the thing is, I think he's on I don't want to say he's on the trade block, but if another team offers a pretty good trade, I might end up doing it. So then looking at our left-handed lineup, Randy Arozarena will platoon, like I said, with Billy Hamilton. But Billy Hamilton will actually be in on this lineup because I don't really have another guy. I don't know who I'm going to hit in the DH spot right now, but this is kind of what I'm projecting. But I think that Billy Hamilton will not eventually end up hitting versus left-handers. He is a left-hander, so we'll have to see how that goes. So the projecting pitching rotation. Now, this is subject to change for sure. This is just projections. Alex Wood will be the ace. Pablo Lopez will be the 2. I'm actually thinking about putting Lopez at the 1 and Wood at the 2. I guess we'll have to see. Rogelio Armenteros will be at the 3. I love him as a number 3 in our rotation. Jose Urquidy will be 4. I am giving him another chance. Let's see how he does this year. And right now, Jace Vines, I don't actually think he's going to be in the starting rotation at the MLB level. But right now, he's penciled in as number 5. I want to get him some more work at the AAA level. So that's going to do it here for this episode. I think next episode I'm going to go through spring training, see who plays well because I don't know. I want to see what Randy Arozarena is going to do and also Billy Hamilton. And then also I want to see what Corey Lee is going to do at catcher because he is our highest rated catcher, but he may not be ready. And that's a thing. You don't want to ruin these guys' progression with rushing them up too early. So I will see what he's got before giving him the full-time nod. So that's going to do it here as we hop into season 2. Next episode will be spring training along with the final moves. Also, I did sign some prospects, so I will have those renamed to some of you guys that you guys left on the draft video comments. So look out for that as well. So hit subscribe, hit that like button. Stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
I be trying to do me, but they be trying to copy though. Only problem with that is they not me though. People act cool, but really they be shiesty though. They say they got your back, but they ain't even behind me though. I be low key, but police be trying to find me though.